I'm going to start this video off with a controversial statement. GSPro is the best golf simulator software on the market. In today's video, I'm going to run through their whole new update, and this is the update that confirms their status as number one. Let's get into it. First things first, just look at this update. How clean and professional does this homepage look? This flyover looks incredible. The upgrades the livery of GSPro has gone through over the last few updates has been insane. It's gone from looking like a bit of a clunky PC game all the way up to a high-end software. Now I'm going to go through all of these tabs on the homepage and show anyone who's already got GSPro what's been updated. But for any of you watching that are considering buying GSPro, I'm going to go through all of the features that you need to consider. And I want you to bear in mind throughout this video that this software only costs $250 per year. Just keep that in the back of your mind. The amount of features you get for $250 a year with this software is incredible. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into this first tab, local match. Okay, these first couple of tabs have had a massive revamp. So you're going to want to stick around for at least these first two tabs to get an understanding of how much GSPro has improved with this update. But like I said, I'm going to start with local match, and local match is where you're going to go when you want to play a round of golf. The update for this area of the software has mainly been around making it easier to find a golf course you want to play. At the time of filming, there's a massive 1,138 courses available on GSPro. Now that's not including any patrons that you've signed up to gain access to even more courses. Most of the designers for GSPro have patrons that they have exclusive courses that you can have access to at a cost, obviously, but there's way more available than the 1,138 courses that are on the server. With that many courses available, we needed a filter system. So that's what this update has introduced. You can now filter with things like popular courses, newest courses, and never played courses. There's now a difficulty rating as well. So we've got easy, medium, and hard courses. You can filter what country you want the course to be from as well. And you can even filter down to the type of golf course you want to play. A coastal course, a tropical course, a mountain course. There's all sorts of options. Okay, so let's find a course to play. So I'm going to click on, let's reset all these filters and get back to reality here. So we can look at all courses. I want to play a course that I've never played before. I don't want anything too difficult. I'm going to try and find let's go with a medium course. I'm not too asked about what country the course is going to be from, but I do like a mountainous course. So we're going to go with a mountain course. And let's do one last little sort as well. Let's sort it from newest. So I'm playing something new. So top of the pile here is Bear Creek Golf Club. So I'm going to hit download and let's see if we can play a few holes on this golf course. And I can show you some more features in GSPro. Good stuff. Now that course took less than 3 minutes to download. I don't have the fastest internet either. I've got about 35 to 40 meg in the studio here. 3 minutes to download a full golf course is quite impressive. And as long as it's downloaded once, you'll never have to download it again. You can just go right in and play every time. When you hit the play button, you're welcomed with this screen. This is where you can add different players. I'm here on my lonesome today, but I do have some sort of pre-saved players in my itinerary here. So if I wanted to add anyone else, I could hit this plus button and Dave can play as well. And then the red is sort of my team color, the green is his team color. But anyway, into match settings. The amount of game modes available in GSPro is class. So we've got the normal stroke play, we've got a scramble, everyone loves a scramble. Match play, alternate shot, stroke. We've got best ball, Stapleford individual, shamble even, and then obviously back to stroke play. So all sorts of game options available for you and your friends. And you can obviously play around with the length of the course as well. The blacks being 7,380 yards. Every course on GS Pro has a par 3 option, which gives you a chance to work on your short game, or if you have some really young children that you don't want the course to be too long for, there's an option for them as well. But also, you've got junior tees. There's all sorts of tee options and length options here. Let's go off 7,000-ish yards. Let's go off the yellow tees. You can pick which pins you want to play on. So if you're going to play somewhere like Georgia Golf Club, Augusta, you can choose some pretty famous pin locations on the Sunday. I have no idea about the pin locations on this course, so I'm just going to go with moving day Saturday pins. Why not? Now you've got some putting options here, so gimmies to a certain amount of footage or auto putt options. I have a radar unit, so the putting isn't all that accurate. But if I just cycle through this, you can go from 2 feet gimmies all the way up to 20-foot gimmies. I tend to go with auto putt fix, which gives you a few different rings. So you've got an 8-foot gimme zone for a 1 putt. I don't know, about a 30-foot putt for 2 putts, and anything beyond that would be a 3 putt. Mulligans on or off? Let's go on, just so I can play around a bit. On the holes tab, you can pick what holes you want to play. So you can just play the back 9, or you can play the front 9, or you can deselect them all and just pick whichever holes you want to play. Again, this can be something fun to use on a course that's quite famous. Georgia Golf Club, for example, you might only want to play the par 3s or the famous Amen corner. And on every course, you can have an option to head to the driving range or just hit play start. Okay, so once the course is loaded, this is what you're faced with, your round of golf. We'll do a quick flyover so you can get an idea of the graphics on GS Pro. Now, bear in mind, there are a lot of different graphic options, and my option, I've gone with a very high graphics setting. And there is, in fact, an even higher graphics level you can go for, which is called Ultra. Unfortunately, the gaming PC that I have isn't powerful enough to sort of run the Ultra graphics setting smoothly. But I think you'd agree this very high setting is pretty good. Now, down the bottom right, we've got a mini map. Now, this mini map is great for aiming because you can sort of see where the fairway goes. Even though this is a bit of a blind tee shot, you can see the hazards down the fairway or on the hole. So we've got a water hazard here, which is 287 to reach. And you can sort of come up with a plan for the hole. So perhaps maybe I'd be aiming here with a 3-wood and then laying back up. But you can see that wherever you are aiming on the hole, at the top left of the mini map, you can see how far you've got left into the hole. This aiming tool and that figure at the top left really help you put a strategy together for a hole of golf. For some extra realism, at the top left, we've even got a rangefinder. You can pinpoint some hazards. Obviously, those trees, for example, are 375 yards away. You can zoom in and zoom out and really pinpoint and help strategize what you want to be doing on a hole. Once you've come up with a strategy for your hole, you can choose which club you want to hit off the tee. And you can even move yourself left and right to give yourself a better line off the tee. Now I'm going to play this hole out really quickly just so you guys can see what gameplay looks like and what the ball physics looks like. I haven't warmed up, so I'm just going to iron my way down this par 5. Go. That was a really simple par, and that's a good look at the scorecard. Now, there's one last thing I want to show you guys on the course before we move on to the next section, and that's lighting. By going into the settings in the top right and clicking on the lighting section, you can really start playing around with all of these settings to get the look that you want. For example, you can change the time of day so you can get a bit of a sunset if you want. You can choose to have rain or a cloudy sky. All of these settings are worth playing with to sort of get the look that you want on the golf course. Some might ask why that is an option. Well, depending on the lighting in your simulator room, the quality of your projector and screen, being able to manipulate the lighting settings on the course can help make sure that you can see the course better. A little used option, but something everyone has access to. And you might be able to make your simulator room look even better by playing around with these settings. Let's move on to the practice facilities. Now, GSPro has put a huge amount of effort into their practice facilities. Not only have they improved the looks of the driving range, but the features that they've introduced into the driving range have made practice so much more meaningful and fun. First things first, if I click on this down arrow at the top, you can actually change the width of the driving range. If you wanted to work on hitting some straight shots, you could do the width down to 11, or if you wanted to feel like you're on the first tee at St Andrews, you could make it as wide as 109 yards. And you can choose to make the green bigger as well. What hasn't changed is the ability to change the distance of the green on the driving range. So you can set the green at any distance you want and work on a particular club. All these things are pretty standard stuff so far. However, this little randomizer option is a game changer. I spend half of my practice just using this randomizer. So basically, you set parameters of what distance you want the randomizer to work within. So for example, if I said I want the randomizer to work between a maximum of 151 yards and let's say around 50 yards, and I want to hit one shot per distance. After each shot I hit, the distance will change to within those parameters. Now this is fantastic if you want to work on your distance control. So I often set the parameters to fit my wedges, so between 50 yards and say 125 yards, and that randomizer will put me anywhere within those parameters, and I have to work on 3/4 shots, half shots with my wedges. And trust me, I need a lot of work in that area of the game. Now this feature was in GSPro already. This update, however, has improved this facility by tenfold. By going back into the driving range settings, we can click on this tab here, Dynamic Holes. Now this is where you can create your own sort of green using the templates that they've got. So we've got Magnolia, which is similar to, say, the 12th green at Augusta. We've got the postage stamp, which is obviously at Royal Troon. Cypress Point, from Cypress Point, and so on. Loads of different options, and you can change how they look. We can change it to be an island green or a peninsula green. And obviously, again, you can change the pin location. Also, on top of this, you can change the height of the tee box. So if you wanted to work on some elevated shots, you can. And again, it's this randomizer that can really help you sort of hone in and keep your practice fun. Again, with this random button, you can change the distances that you want to be working within and how many shots you want to hit per sort of position. Hit that apply button, and you're not only randomizing the distance you are to the green, but you're randomizing the type of green you're hitting into. Dynamic and fun practice. This is a huge update for the driving range in GSPro. If that wasn't enough, they've actually gone and done even more to make practice better on GSPro. Again, we're going to head up to the settings tab on the driving range and hit this playground option, the playground. Now within the playground, you're going to have 13 different pins from 13 different locations. So we can just circle through a few here. We've got a 212 yard pin away, we've got a 98 yard pin, 227, all sorts of options, and even down to sort of greenside chips. You can choose to play from the same location but change which pin you're aiming at, and you can even choose to aim at one particular pin but change where you're hitting from. The possibilities within the practice facilities now are endless. You can work on every single part of your game, and in a much more fun and dynamic way. You're not just hitting balls at the driving range hoping something goes well. You can actually work on your game. Now, one area of the practice facilities that users wanted to see GSPro improve was the information that they give you on the mini-map. Basically, users wanted to see a more traditional sort of dispersion pattern. You know, when you go and get a lesson or something from a PGA Pro, and it has like the circle around all the balls that you've hit. Basically, GSPro users wanted to see that integrated into the system, and you'll see some reviews online that say that GSPro has answered their users' questions. these reviews will say that GSPro have implemented this. But I'm just going to hit a few pitching wedges here, and you can see on the right hand side how this dispersion update actually looks. The ball's in the air, it's going to land, and then when it's finished moving, it'll add a green dot to the minimap. I'll just hit a few shots so you can see exactly what I mean. Going right today, obviously. So yeah, it does show dispersion, but not in a very sort of easy to see kind of way. I'm going to change clubs. Let's go to one that will go a little bit further. And I'm also going to change the color. So that's at least one thing you can change, is the color. So when you hit a different club, a different dot will appear on the screen. Nice little soft shots here. Hit the pin. Oof. So we've got a longer club in hand now, and you can see that blue dot appears on the screen. That white dot is where the flag is. Ooh, a bit left. That's dead straight. What am I talking about? So I think you can kind of see what I mean. Like, yes, it will show you dispersion, but not in a very sort of professional way is the word I want to use. But everyone who complains about this don't realize that they have free access to something called Golf Shot Analytics. Let me show you what that app looks like. Now, personally, I don't believe GSPro have hit the mark when it comes to analyzing the data. However, Golf Shot Analytics have come up with a way to present all of the GSPro data in a much more professional way. Now, for those of you who don't know, Golf Shot Analytics is an app that you can download onto a Windows PC. You just go onto their website and hit this download button at the top right. Just from the website, you can see how sort of in-depth Golf Shot Analytics is processing the GSPro data. And all you have to do is download your practice session as a spreadsheet and upload it to the app. This is what the app looks like. There is so much to this app that I'm not going to be able to show you all in one video, but I mean, for example, if I've got some old sessions here from hitting like a 2-iron and a hybrid test, you can sort of see here on the right hand side the shot dispersion that people have longed for. Basically, this is exactly what people have asked for from GSPro, and okay, it's not on the GSPro driving range, but it is using the GSPro data, and everything that you could ever want data-wise is all on this app. There's so many different things to look at. I mean, I haven't even utilized this app as much as I should have, to be honest with you. I mean, look at that. There's so much data on that screen that why would you need GSPro to give you all of this? There's a free-to-use app that will use all of the GSPro data. And quite frankly, it's going to present it in a much better way than GSPro could. I'd download this app sharpish if I was you, because at some point, this is going to cost money to use. Now, once you feel like you've practiced enough, GSPro is going to give you so many different ways for you to be able to test your game. Back to the home page and into the Challenges tab, you're presented with 5 different ways to test your game. Many of you have probably heard of Operations 36 outside of the golf simulator world. They're essentially trying to get as many people into golf as possible by playing 9 holes of golf at a time. The object of this game is to score 36 or less for every level that you play. Level 1, you're going to be green side chipping onto the green. And I'm stuck on level 5 at the moment where I'm playing a 200-yard hole. Once you've hit 36 or better, you move on to the next level. And I tell you what, GSPro users are absolutely addicted to this game. Distance challenges is another really quick way of testing your game as well. In this game, you basically hit 10 shots at the given distance, and GSPro is going to calculate your strokes gained for that particular distance, and it'll give you an average distance away from the hole. Now, the objective of the game is obviously to hit the ball as close as possible, and you'll have a record of what your best score is. But on top of that, people do these distance tests every single day, and there's an online leaderboard. So if you're competitive, you can see how your game stacks up against other people. There's a variety of different custom skills tests as well, where you can assess all sorts of areas of your game. But this is the most exciting addition to the V3 update. Ultimate Long Drive. A really simple game where you just smash driver as hard as you can. We've all seen long drive competitions in the past. You hit 6 drives as hard as you can in the allocated time. The longest drive that finishes in the grid wins. This is a really fun game to play when you've got people around. Few beers, long drive competition. Who's not going to love that? And finally, we've got the classic GSPro skills test. This skill test assesses your whole game, from your lob wedge all the way up to your driver. And it's going to let you know what kind of area of your game that you need to work on. The options GSPro gives you to be able to practice your game, but also test your game, is just endless. There's so many ways to enjoy this software without actually playing a course. You can work on your game, you can test your game, and you can play golf. And let's not forget, this is $250 per year. One of the cheapest simulator softwares on the market. Another thing I really love about GSPro is its access to sim golf tournaments. GSPro and Sim Golf Tour have integrated basically to allow easy access for users onto the tour to play GSPro courses against other people on a weekly basis. And there are so many tours to choose from on the website. Basically, you sign up to Sim Golf Tour, it's going to cost $80 per year. So it's a bit of an extra cost, but a worthwhile one if you ask me. And you register for any tour that you fancy. There's all sorts of levels of tour. You've got web tours all the way up to pro tours. And it's just something you can get involved with on a weekly basis because there's tournaments running every single week. For example, this week I've got a few rounds to play on the Winter Pro Tour. That's the Butterfield Championship and it's being played at Beaver Creek Golf Course. I simply download that course and hit the play button. All of the match settings are predetermined by the tournament host. And once you've finished your round of golf, you head back onto the website to see where you are on the leaderboard. Winter golf tournaments in the UK aren't great. Most of the time the courses are washed out or they're cancelled due to bad weather. Well, with this Sim Golf Tour, I can stay competitive all year round. Finally, if you like the social aspect of playing golf, you can always play golf online against other users. Now, this part of the software has come on a huge amount. It's so seamless now to create a room and for other users to join it. So if you miss playing golf with your boys in the summer, there's at least a nice simple way to stay connected with them during the winter. I've actually never played against anyone online on GSPro. So if any of you think you can take me on, get in the comments and let me know. There's so many other features in GSPro that I could dive into. But honestly, I didn't want this video to be an hour-long sort of deep dive into every nook and cranny of this software. There are loads of other videos out there that go into much more detail than this. But hopefully this video has given you a bit of an insight into how good GSPro is, how fun it can be, and how much it can improve your golf. If you do want me to cover anything else about this software, get in the comments and let me know. But for now, thanks for taking the time to watch the video. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'll see you next week for a new video.